I'm Keith Spera from NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune. Welcome to Let's Talk. My guest today is one of the student leaders who commands the field during LSU football games. As the drum major of the LSU Tiger Marching Band, she leads its 325 members down Victory Hill on game days to Tiger Stadium, where they amp up the crowd and the team. Remarkably, in the 132-year history of the Tiger Band, she is only the fourth woman to serve as its drum major. Here to talk about all that and more is Catherine Mansfield. Catherine, welcome to Let's Talk.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So, in a sense, you are the quarterback of the Golden Band from Tigerland. Are you dealing with any injuries this season? Are you feeling pretty good? Are you feeling pretty healthy at this point in the season?
Yeah, no injuries yet. Sometimes a little bit of a sore shoulder, when I'm conducting for a long time. But other than that, I'm on the top of my game.
Top of your game. How heavy is that baton that you hoist?
It's actually pretty light.
Mm-hmm.
It's hollow kind of, so it's pretty light.
So it is not a workout for you. That specific. No. It's all the motion is what really gets to you.
Yeah,
the constant motion.
It's the stamina, really.
Exactly. It's a big day, game day.
Yeah.
What is the feeling like, or what was it like, I guess, the first time you led the band as drum major down Victory Hill on game day heading to the stadium? Was it just an incredible adrenaline rush? Yeah,
it's honestly, the adrenaline is pretty crazy. You just hear, the cheers start to get louder and louder as you get to the bottom of the hill. So the energy is like really crazy, especially we had a big home opener, a big SEC home opener also. So the crowd was just insane. And it's honestly hard to not just black out and forget all of it. But I definitely will never forget that.
Is it, I imagine that coming down the hill is almost exciting as entering the field for the first time. Because you're going down the chute of people and everyone's, close quarters and very hyped up. Yeah,
it really is. The crowd is shoulder to shoulder on both sides. I've never seen it not be that way. And so the whole time I'm just trying to make sure that am I centered in the street? Am I going at the pace? Because it's very timed out also. Mm-hmm. Everything is kind of calculated down to the second. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm going the right speed so that we get to the bottom of the hill at the right time, so the team can start walking down at the right time. So it's all a big production, very much.
Military precision is necessary.
Yes.
This kind of thing. Well, and I've seen pictures of you doing that walk, and you have a all business look on your face. You're obviously very locked in because, like you said, it has to be timed perfectly and everything has to go right. So there's no, you're not high-fiving people or anything like that.
No, that's part of our, being at attention when we're doing a parade is not breaking. So we're not supposed to be looking, waving, smiling at family. You just have to look straight ahead and be all business. If you're a Golden Girl or a color guard, it's a different story. But for the band members, we're just supposed to be all business in that moment.
You guys are just like the Marine Corps band. Got to keep a straight face.
You could say that. You could say that.
Got to keep a straight face.
Yeah.
I imagine the LSU football team, maybe it's easier for them to get more hyped up for the big games. Is it the same with the band? Do you guys get more hyped in front of the, the big SEC games, or is it always, we're all in all the time? Yeah,
we obviously are performing, at our peak for every game, but it definitely is easier for us to feed off of the energy from the crowd when it is a bigger game like that. Because, it's not as easy to be hyped when, half the stadium has left already. It's the fourth quarter for a smaller opponent, but we're always giving it our all. We're always playing to our best ability. But it is definitely very fun when it's a big opponent.
Explain in layman's terms exactly what you do as drum major, what it means. Essentially you're like an orchestra's conductor, I guess. Your motions, you're keeping the tempo for the band. But what technically is going on when you're leading the band at halftime?
Yeah, so I'm the sort of head of the student leadership team. Mm-hmm. We have a whole team of section leaders, equipment managers, librarians that are all undergrad students, part of the band, who help things run. Mm-hmm. So I'm sort of their head honcho. I'm the liaison between them and the directors. Mm-hmm. And I'm the student conductor and leader. So when we go up for halftime, I'm the one that's telling them when to start, telling them how fast to go, taking care of tempo changes, meter changes, and the cutoff, and getting them on and off the field.
So when you're up on the stand at halftime, they have to keep an eye on you to not lose their place. That is key, right?
Yeah, so it's mainly me and the drum line that are locked in, because even if people on the field can't see me as well, they can definitely hear the drums. So it's basically me and the drums trying to lock in with each other so that no one gets lost and the sound doesn't tear. Because that can happen if the wind players are going at a different speed than the drum players. There'll be a big rip in the sounds and it won't sound right. So we have to make sure that everyone knows exactly how fast we're going. No one speeds up, no one slows down, so that the music sounds right.
A big rip in the sound.
Yes, it can tear.
It can tear.
That's what it's called. Yes.
Really?
The song can tear. Yeah.
Have you had that happen on game days? I mean, has there been a tear or something where you're like, oh gosh, that was a train wreck?
I mean, not yet, luckily, but we definitely have to make sure that everyone is watching so that doesn't happen.
Well, and that's why you practice so much as well.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, we do practice a lot.
If you're just tuning in, my guest today is Catherine Mansfield, the drum major for the LSU Tiger Marching Band. So let's take it all the way back. You went to Dominican High School here in New Orleans, where you were the drum major at that band. Was that one of the reasons you went to Dominican, was because they had a all-female marching band and that was something you wanted to be a part of? Yeah,
honestly, I've been a musician since I was 5. I've been a flute player since I was about 9. So I knew that I wanted to continue with music throughout high school. But if you're touring all the girls' schools in this area, you really don't have many options in that regard. So Dominican was really the only school that, for me, that had their own self-sufficient marching band. And St. Mary's Academy in the area also has one. It's a bit further out. But yeah, Dominican was really the only viable option for me, because you really just, as a girl in New Orleans, you don't really get that option at a lot of the other Catholic high schools. So I'm really glad that I went there, because it's what enabled me to continue my music journey. And I definitely would not be here if I didn't choose to go to Dominican.
Well, and as far as your music journey, did you always know you wanted to be part of a marching band? Because obviously tons of people play music without ever being in the marching band. And you start off were you playing piano early on too, and then switched to flute? Was that what?
Yeah, so for most of my music career, shall we say, I was mostly focused more on concert settings. I really didn't march a lot until I actually got to LSU, because although Dominican does march, it's really limited to just parades and Mardi Gras, because there's no football team.
Which is no small thing.
A
parade's a big deal, though.
Yeah, parades are great. Yeah. But I didn't actually experience doing like a halftime show or a pregame show on a field until I got to LSU. So I had a lot of skills to learn as an incoming freshman when I got to LSU, but it all worked out, and I caught up with everyone else who had been doing field shows for the last 4 years of high school, and I was able to get on track. So I think it all worked out in the end.
So you had never really marched like in not a formation, but in like a design.
Yeah.
What do you call it? When you do when you spell out things on the field, what is that called?
It's the drill of the halftime show, is the actual formation that you're making. But yeah, I had never really read drill or, marched a dot is what they call it.
Marched a dot?
Yeah, your dot on the field.
Okay.
So yeah, I really hadn't done any of that until I got to LSU. It was a whole new world. And most of my peers did come from, co-ed public high schools in the Louisiana area. And they had been doing that for years. And it was a lot to catch up with. But
sure.
I guess I'm a quick learner, because I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed marching. So yeah, now I'm more marching heavy than concert band heavy, whereas for most of my time before, LSU was the opposite.
Well, yeah, and that's got to be a completely different skill set to be able to play while remembering where you're supposed to go. I mean, you've got two totally different things going on in your brain at the same time. So that is interesting that you had no experience with that at all, and yet you still got a spot in the LSU band. Yeah,
so and one of the things about LSU that kind of sets it apart is we don't look at music on the field. If we're performing it, it's all memorized. All the music's memorized. Your positions, where you're supposed to go for the show, it's all memorized. So that was also a bit of a learning curve, but I really enjoyed it. I liked the challenge.
So at Dominican, you guys had music on little stands that you carried with you, or so you're reading music as you played? Yeah,
so most of the time, I mean, if you're in a concert band, you're looking at the music, you have it in front of you. At Dominican, when we would do like the volleyball games or basketball games, we could also look at music. For parades, I think we did try to do it memorized, but we only would have a rotation about like 5 to 7 songs, whereas LSU, we have it's like a 7-minute long halftime show. You have your pregame music, school songs. We have our stand tunes that we play during the game. So it's a lot bigger of a library.
Yeah, absolutely. So you get to LSU, and sophomore year, you became leader of the piccolo section in the LSU band?
Yeah, so at the end of my freshman year, I said, you know what, I'll just shot in the dark, try out for leadership. I'll try out for section leader. And then I got it. I was a co-section leader my sophomore year for the piccolo section. I said, you know what, I like it, I'll do it again. I was selected as a solo section leader for the piccolos for my junior year. And then I decided to audition for drum major at the end of my junior year. So here I am.
So let's talk about that decision to go out for drum major. As I said in the intro, very, very few women have held that role. 3 prior to you in the 130-year history. I think the first woman to be drum major at LSU was in 1999.
Yes.
Another one in 2000, another one in 2014. So not a whole lot of history there. That did not discourage you.
No, honestly, and coming from a place like Dominican, where it's very much sort of by women for women for the most part, you know, I was used to an environment that's really dedicated to, you know, uplifting girls in those sort of positions. So I was very used to women in leadership. So coming to LSU, I kind of saw it as a fun little challenge. I didn't have any reason to think I couldn't do it. And I auditioned for drum major twice. I did it at the end of my sophomore year. I auditioned for both section leader and drum major for the next year. And then finished my junior season and just auditioned for drum major. And actually the first time I tried out, I was one girl out of 8 people that were trying out. And the second time I auditioned, I was 1 out of 2 girls out of the 8 people that were trying out. So it could feel isolating, but I had a lot of support from within the band and my family and my friends. So I'm really happy that I decided to go for it.
Are only 8 people invited to try out? Is that it just so happened that it was 8 people both years?
Anyone can try out. The requirement is that you've had 2 years of experience in the band. But yeah, it tends to be a smaller group than for a section leader, say.
So what is the audition process like? I mean, it's long, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's pretty lengthy. The actual going into the audition is about a week. It's several rounds. They're testing you. Do you know tempos? How are your leadership skills? Can you teach a group? How do you interview? Can you interview well? How do you do with the mace? And then the very final round is conducting the whole band as part of the finalist round. But in addition to that, it's really a holistic analysis of you as a member of the band and as a leader. So they're looking at, you know, what do your peers think of you, your career in the band thus far. So it's really a holistic sort of analysis of your leadership ability.
Sure, it's both technical and subjective. I mean, it's both criteria going into it.
Yes.
How did you get the news? How did they announce it that you were drum major?
So they posted it in our sort of app that they use to, you know, send information out to us. So they put a post out there to just the band, and then I immediately had all the messages and the call from the previous drum major to congratulate me, and it was just a flood of, you know, congratulations. So it was kind of an overwhelming day, but I just went out to dinner with my friends, and it was a great time. That's
awesome. And you've since met the other 3 women that have been drum majors at LSU?
Yes, they're great. It's Christy, Mindy, and Mary. We did a story together for a Baton Rouge magazine earlier in the summer, rather. And they're all super nice. I could tell that they really had my best interest in mind. They were thrilled for me, and they're all great and lovely ladies.
Do you feel that your experience has been a little different than a male drum major? I mean, do you feel people are watching you a little more closely to see, you know, is she up to the task or not? Or is everyone are you just the generic drum major when you're in that uniform? Yeah, sometimes I feel a little bit of that pressure, but I think a lot of it is sort of self-imposed. I feel like people are going to watch me closer, but a lot of the times I feel like people are rooting me on more, you know, if anything. They see that the drum major is a little different, but they're all for it for the most part. So I'm really happy that the support has been what it has been, both from my peers in the band, family, and just the greater sort of LSU community. I've gotten a lot of, you know, well wishes from them. So I think it's been a very positive
overall experience so far.
Awesome, awesome. If you're just tuning in, my guest today is Catherine Mansfield, the 2025 drum major for the LSU Tiger Marching Band. So are you involved at all with the song selection that you guys play, or is that something that the staff band directors make those kind of decisions?
Yeah, so we have our sort of little library of stand tunes that we play during the game, and if we have sort of a timeout coming up, let's say, the directors will be like, all right, we're gonna play something. What do you wanna play? And so I'll try to come up with something that will fit within the time span that we have for that timeout. So I'll usually be the one to call up that song, but sometimes my friends will yell suggestions at me from their spot in the stands, or the directors will give some input, but mostly it's me that's sort of controlling what the band's playing.
But the band does take requests, is what you're saying.
I mean, sometimes they'll be like, oh, play XYZ, and maybe I'll honor a request, but most of the time it's just me.
Well, that's interesting that you're calling those like on the spot, that it's not like a set playlist. I mean, so you're reacting to the feel and the moment and trying to figure out what would work best.
Yeah, so I have to be very in tune to what's happening on the field, what the energy of the stadium is. That's going to sort of dictate what we're going to play in that moment. So it is a lot of moving pieces. I don't have a lot of time to just turn my brain off during the games. It's a little bit mentally exhausting. But it's really fun, it's exciting, and it's fun to play because we sound good, so.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you can see the result of what you guys are doing. I mean, if you hit the right song at the right time, you can feel the crowd in the stadium reacting to it, I would imagine. That's got to be a bit of a thrill.
Yeah, it definitely is. Sometimes they'll synchronize the lights with sort of what we're playing, and the student section's right there, so they're getting into it, they're dancing. So it is really fun to sort of be at the helm of that energy with the band behind me.
Do the football players ever make requests?
No, they're a little bit too far away from us.
Well, even before like games, did they say, hey, why don't you throw in something, blah, blah, blah?
They haven't yet, but if they did, I could try to make something happen.
They've got other things on their mind.
Yeah, I guess they have more to worry about.
They're a little bit busy.
Maybe.
So what is a typical week like for the band? Like, how often are you guys rehearsing? I mean, I imagine you're putting in some serious hours because it's a whole new program, a whole new pattern every halftime. So what is the week like? Yeah,
so we'll typically rehearse Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for an hour and a half in the evenings. And then if it's game day that Saturday, if it's a home game, we'll do a rehearsal in the morning as well. We'll eat some lunch and then get out there and start our game day routine of performances that we do. But yeah, we rehearse 4 days a week, and it sounds like a lot, but when you kind of work it into your day-to-day, it doesn't feel like a lot because you're having fun, you're with your friends, and you're getting to make music. But yeah, it can get a little stressful if we have 1 week to put a show together, it rains one day, and all of a sudden it's Thursday and we're still like trying to learn the music. But it's a fun challenge, and the band works really hard, so it's really rewarding to be able to perform every week.
And you'll actually get a credit? You get like a college credit for being in the band, is that true?
We get a stipend, yeah. So it's a total of $1,000. It's broken up into 4 disbursements over the course of the season. So we're very fortunate to have that. LSU Athletics is really generous to us. They are behind everything that we do. And we're really fortunate because a lot of college bands don't get anything remotely near that to be able to perform.
So it's not quite NIL money. You haven't quite tapped into that name, image, and likeness thing yet.
Not yet.
You got to move into that. That's what you need. So.
Yeah, I know. The brand has to approach me. So
there you go.
I'm here. I'm waiting.
You're not opposed.
I'm not opposed.
When you guys go on the road, the full band does not go to every away game, but you take like 100 members to most of the away games. Going into a hostile environment in a different stadium, totally different experience, I would imagine. How does that feel when you're in there knowing that most of the crowd is not with you and not with LSU?
Yes, it certainly is a little daunting when we go to an opposing stadium and it's just our little dot in the middle of a sea of, the other fans. But it's also kind of fun because we have a big sound. So it's fun to see if we can try to take over the energy, play loud, because it's fun. It's fun to be loud. So it's a challenge. Especially if it was a stadium like Ole Miss where it was a really sort of high energy game and we had our full band there. And even though the outcome of the game wasn't what we wanted, it was still really fun to perform and to hear their band perform as well. So it's always a fun challenge.
Well, and I imagine the band feels the disappointment of a loss as much as the football team almost. I mean, you guys are bummed when it doesn't go your way as well, I guess.
Yeah, it can be discouraging when we bus all the way to an opposing stadium and maybe the outcome isn't so great, but at the end of the day, we always have a good time performing and we're there for each other. So, no matter what, we always have that. And I have fond memories of every away game, no matter what the outcome of the game was.
Well, yeah, and there's a camaraderie within the band ranks. I mean, you guys, it's 325 people, so you don't know everyone personally, I guess, but I mean, you've gotten to know a lot of those folks in the band, and there is a definite camaraderie, I'd imagine. Yeah,
and being drum major, obviously a lot more people are gonna come up to me, give me a high five, say hey, have a little chat. That's really what I enjoy. There definitely is a sense of camaraderie. I try to be approachable because that's what I enjoy the most, is really just making friends. And because we're all there because of a shared interest. We all went through the same thing to get to be in the group. It's really rewarding to be able to hopefully walk away with a lot of valuable friendships. So that's what I've been enjoying this year.
Good. Well, and y'all have an interesting member this year. You have a gentleman that, is he the oldest member of the Tiger Band that's ever been at? He's in his 60s, is that right?
Yes, he's great. He went through the same process to, be to where he is. We don't let up on our process for anyone. So if you see someone in the band, that means they work to get there. And he really enjoys being part of the group. And he's a great energy to have around.
His name is
Kent.
Kent
Bruce,
yeah. That's it. Yeah, right. And I think he's in his 60s, but he's carrying his weight. Like I said, no slack for senior members of the band. You gotta go through the same process as everybody else.
Yeah, no, and he recognizes that he's in a different place of life than all the rest of us are, and he tries his best to sort of give back in any way he can as a member of the band. So we really appreciate that.
That's awesome. You're an art history major, is that right?
Yeah, so I'm a senior. I'll be graduating with a BA in art history this May. I'm also doing minors in Italian and business administration. So I'm really excited about that. I really like my major. A lot of people sort of will give me a look and say, what are you gonna do with that? But I'm happy to explain. I like what I do. I like what I study.
Well, what are you gonna do with that?
What am I gonna do? I currently work at the LSU Museum of Art doing digital collections, so working with the online database. But after graduation, I'm gonna hopefully get a master's MA in art history. And then I want to work somewhere in the private sector, so that would be buying, selling art, dealing, appraising, auctioning, something in that realm is where I want to be.
Do you feel like your experience as drum major at LSU is gonna help you professionally down the line?
I think so. I mean, besides just being a resume booster because people recognize the name, obviously this is a very front-facing sort of performance role. And a lot of what I want to do is sort of making connections in the professional world. So I feel like the people skills, the sort of being media trained, if you will, that aspect of performance, I think is really going to help me if I, decide to go the sales route or, foundation work, anything like that. I think it's really going to pay off.
Now, but this is the thing. I mean, even if you get a master's at LSU, you won't be in the band anymore after this year. Or will you? Or is that an option? Can you, as a grad student, can you be in the band?
You can be in Tiger Band for up to 6 years, but I am going to pursue a master's elsewhere. So I think, after this year is probably the end of my marching band days, but I definitely want to find more ways that I can, because I love performing. So I'm sure I'll find the new thing, somewhere in the future.
So that final LSU game of the 2025 season will be a little bittersweet then, I'd imagine?
It definitely will. It always is. Usually the bowl game is sort of our last, hurrah for the season, our last big performance together. I'm sure it will be a little bit bittersweet, but those trips are always fun because it's just, like 2-3 days that we're just hanging out and making music, and it's winter break, so we're not worrying about school. We're just enjoying each other's company.
That's right. It's a 325 member friendship group, basically.
Yes, it really is. It is.
In the last couple of minutes here, do you hope that going down the road, more women end up as drum major at LSU? I mean, like I said, only 4 in the history. There's no reason there shouldn't be more, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I would obviously love to see a more diverse group representing the band in the future. I think it would be great. I know we have tons of qualified people of every walk of life in the band, and I especially try to uplift girls and women in the marching band space. There is room for them, And it's support from, those women who came before who maybe weren't able to be in the band or ascend to a leadership role. It's a support from them that really allows me to keep doing what I'm doing, and I try to give back if I can.
Do you notice as you're going down Victory Hill, little girls checking you out along the band route?
Yeah, they'll either come up to me beforehand, either girls that are in high school marching band, little girls dressed up in their costumes. So I love to see them. It's really that sight that makes it all worth it. Or, older either alums of Dominican or just women who have admired the band for a long time will come up to me and, give me a compliment, say something nice. So I really enjoy that. That's one of the most rewarding parts.
If you start seeing little girls in LSU drum major uniforms along the route, then you'll know you've made an impact.
That's when I know that it was all worth it.
Well, this has been really great. The band, it's a highlight of LSU games, I think. I mean, that, you guys add such an element of adrenaline to the whole proceedings and excitement. Me being a music guy, it's always a thrill to hear what you guys are doing. So congratulations on A, getting the job, and B, doing such a great job here through the 2025 season.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. And thank you for having me on the show. It's a huge honor.
Well, your media training has paid off. You did a great job.
I guess it has.
It did a great job.
Good to know. Now I know it was all worth it.
There you go. All right. Once again, that was Catherine Mansfield, the drum major of the 2025 LSU Tiger Marching Band. I am Keith Spera. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time on Let's Talk.